Here are 5 ways how you can connect your 3D prints completely in your slicer, split them apart and then connect them somehow together. I'm always going to show you how to make them, their use cases and what kind of issues they might carry with themselves. So let's get straight into it, and I'm going to be showing it in the Creality Slicer. Most of the slicers are basically the same, so hopefully you can replicate this even inside of your slicer. So as the first connector, I actually chose Dovetail. Dovetail is something that is super simple, yet it is super effective, and I love using dovetails. As you can see, it connects your 3D prints. This is amazing if you are gluing something together, and it actually allows you to even set what kind of a distance and what kind of a clearance do you want to have there. So if you want it to be just a press fit and they actually stay together, you can do it completely within the slicer. So let me show you exactly how to do that. So once you have your model in your slicer, you will go and click on it. Once you click on it, a tool on top right over here called cut will appear. You can click it, and over here you will have the chance in the menu to either select mode planar, or the second one is dovetail, which allows you to cut the part with the dovetail connector. But you need to now set the settings of the dovetail connector in the first place. So first of all, you will edit how you have the plane positioned. Turn the plane around, hopefully. As you can see, put it to 90 degrees perfectly as you have it, and now you can see that it's already on the top. And as you can see, when you adjust the depth, all that happens is that the depth of the dovetail increases. The width, that's exactly the same, so you can actually play with this setting by yourself. And over here on the right side, there's the clearances. I would highly recommend going for the 0.15 if you want something that can easily go in together, and then you can just glue it, because that actually allows for a bit of space and it is not that hard to press into. But if you want a much tighter fit that will actually be a bit harder to push and will be a lot more permanent, I would recommend 0.10. This would give you just a normal dovetail. So if you right now click on perform cut, what you will see is that you have the dovetail created. But what I want to show you next is actually something completely different, because the second type of a cut that we can have is actually something that has an angle, which is a dovetail again, but it has an angle and it can only go in one direction, right? Because it is angled. And once it's in there, it cannot go anywhere further. So this is really great, for example, if you are making planters or something like that, because you can actually, or not even planters, maybe like hangers for your, how do you call these? The things in the shower, because you can hang actually anything. You can actually hang it because you have the dovetail connection there. So to do it, you will actually again go into the cut tool. Once you go into the cut tool, the menu will appear. But in the dovetail right now, you will select something called the groove angle. Because once you start moving with the groove angle, as you can see, it starts angling the dovetail that we have there. And over here, basically anything works, but I would recommend going for something like 10 degrees because that gives it actually a quite nice angle. So once you have that, you can just click perform cut. And as you can see, it again splits it to two parts. But right now, instead of being just a very straight dovetail, it has this kind of nice angle. The next kind of connector is something that I consider to be the most useful if you are connecting large 3D prints and you need to split them or cut them into pieces and then later on connect them together, because it's basically something that will give you only holes in the model, and then it will give you an extra, basically like a plug that you can then plug into the model. Now, why this is so amazing is because like it's super easy to insert there, so you probably won't even need glue. Of course, if you want to make it permanent, glue is always good, but then you can snap it into the other part. But what I really love about this type of connection is that you can actually print both of the pieces now laying down, right? So the print orientation is a lot better, because since it's only a hole, if this was, let's say, printed already like this, you couldn't print it this way down because there would be the plug. So by just giving you it completely extra, they allow you to print it like this and then just put it together. But it even allows you to print round surfaces just like this, standing up, because it doesn't create if the plug was in there, it would create an overhang right over here, right? So it would print very badly and then it just wouldn't connect to the second part, right? But that isn't a problem because they removed it. It can actually print the layers just like this instead of going like this, which would make the surface look extremely ugly. So to do this inside of the slicer, add your model in there, you can actually click it and again go into the same exact tool, which is called the cut tool. Once you click on the cut tool, right now we will be doing it a bit differently. We will need to select the mode to be planar, because we will be basically just cutting it like a plane. Position it, so let's say we want it this way. And now you will need to click on add connectors, which is right over here. But the one that we will be using right now is something called the dowel. Dowel, as you can see, it allows you to select the shape of the dowel, which you can set for triangle, square, hexagon, or circle. As you can see right over here in my example, I chose something that is actually hexagonal. If I was to select the hexagon and then go onto the part and I would try to add it, what you can see is that it would basically add this surface down here and then this surface on the top. But that is wrong, because if it would print it that way, this whole wall on the top of the hexagon would be an overhang, which we do not want. We want to avoid overhangs as much as we can, right? You can actually rotate it 90 degrees. And as you can see, the hexagon has actually the sharp edges on the bottom and on the top, which means that there won't be any big overhang. Now, again, you need to click on confirm connectors and then perform cut. Once you do that, you just start splitting it together, and as you can see, it divided it perfectly, and it even left out the plug that we needed to have, or the dowel. As the next kind of connector, this is something called the plug, which is one of the simplest one, and basically all that it is the shape that you have on the other side put onto the other. So once I switch back into the slicer, when you look into the sliced file of this, as you can see, this is the problem of the plugs, because those two, because they are actually angled, they don't have any overhangs. But when you look on the circle that isn't just angled enough, it has a big overhang right over here, which of course was a problem for the printer to print at all, and because of that it had bad print quality. So once you have your model in there, you will again go into the cut tool. Once you click on the cut tool again, select the mode as planar and add connectors. Now we will be going into the plug section. Once you click that, over here in the style section, you can either select prism, where prism means that the plug will be actually completely straight, but the frustum means that it will be angled. So it's better for overhangs because it will give you a bit of angle to the 3D print so that it can print the overhang quite nicely. And then you again just set the sizes. Now the last one that I have right over here prepared for you is something that I still think the slicers doesn't have figured out that well, which is basically like a snap fit. But as we all know, in designing, snap fits are quite hard to create even when you are modeling it yourself, because it's just so hard to get it mechanically correct. As you can see, I needed to print this with supports as well as this snap fit on the bottom. So let me remove it. Once we take the second part, let's try to connect it actually together. So I need to have it oriented correctly, and if I try to connect it together, as you can see, it snaps in together perfectly. So it actually works quite fine, but the supports make it a lot harder to do. So let me show you how to do it inside of the slicer. So once you are in your slicer and you have your model prepared, you can just again click on it, go into the cut. We have already went over that. Select again the planar, nothing changes there. Then just select add connectors, and over here we will be going into the snap. You can actually place the plug, and now what you can just start doing is start editing these settings, and as you can see, the snap fit will be actually changing in real time, so you can actually edit it straight over here, adjust it to your needs. The space basically is how much will the snap be allowed to move, and the bulge means how much it will be expanded compared to the hole that you are making, how much it will need to bend. And then once you perform the cut, as you can see right over here, you have the snap fit, you have both of these parts modeled straight in there. You didn't need to use any of the designing softwares. So hopefully this short guide helped, and if I forgot anything or you have something extra to share that I perhaps forgot to mention here, you can definitely comment it down below.